Hi, everybody. So, this is day 1293, and it always seems to get later and later. We're burning the midnight oil because everything is coming together. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Just getting lots of information. And 1293. I want to make sure that I'm on Facebook. I want to make sure that everyone hears. I won't take too much time tonight. Um, I'll just get straight to the point because everything is coming together. We absolutely have audio now that is going to be very interesting for the investigation um, because Tavita Nusa absolutely lost his badge. And now, hard evidence to prove that. And that is very, very important. And because we consider him a suspect, and in hurting our son, we believe he has great knowledge of the exact events and everything. Um, we I suspect with Team Find Richard Halliday, there's different different perspectives that we take into consideration. That it was a group that hurt Richard, um, and absolutely that there was a massive cover up, absolutely massive cover up. So today tonight I want to talk about just a theory, the theory of what happened to Richard, an investigative theory. Now, when you put out a theory, it's, I'm a math major. I love math. I love science. When you put out a theory, you should, not like Darwin's junkie theory, not like the junkie germ theory. And I have to say it, they are so junky because if you just take a minute to look at them, nothing makes sense, right? Nothing makes sense. Um, Especially if you have grandchildren, the germ theory definitely does not make sense. Um, and absolutely, um, Darwin's theory does not make any sense whatsoever. Whatsoever. It's just junky, right? So when you do put out a theory, you try to back it up with evidence, with a lot of hard work and research. And we have, um, for over 3 years, uh, given our lives to this, to our son, gladly so, because we made promises to him. And we have researched and we have investigated. And we were made the investigators by the CID. And we have uh, been to Juarez many times over the border. We have been to El Paso. We have been to, believe it or not, the capital. Uh, we have put in many, many, many hours researching all of this using all tools possible, writing letter after letter after letter. I mean, we've gotten an education out of this. We've gotten better at writing, that's for sure. And so, we have spent the time. And so to give you the theory, absolutely. Um, we believe that Richard's case happened before the Walmart case. We believe that Richard, according to all of our information that we have on him, his demeanor, the the changes, his hopes, his dreams, and the 180 change in him, that he would not stand by and see the massive crime that was going on and not report it. That was just not him. He he wanted to be a private investigator. He wanted to be law enforcement. He wanted to be CID. And remember, he even submitted his intentions to be CID, and Dirty Agent Marlon Soto confirmed that. That's on record. So that was not him to just look the other way, to see Lady Justice get abused. It's kind of like sexually assaulting Lady Justice. That's what's going on here. And Richard was not going to stand by and let that happen, watch that happen. So when he got there, and the crime um, is just almost part of the law enforcement agents there, that are in El Paso, that have been there a long time, that have established themselves, that have developed this criminal enterprise there in El Paso and on Fort Bliss. Um, it just became a way of life for them. And do not be mistaken. This absolutely involves the four-star generals. Absolutely. There is no doubt. There is no doubt, because any four-star general that is in touch at all with his military installations and his soldiers, his service members, and readiness, uh, could change things on a dime. We've given them everything. I mean, General Garrett is living large right now. $1 million house, easy, easy, with vacation houses. We give them everything. And absolutely, absolutely, General Michael Garrett betrayed us. And McConville and Mealy, these generals, Sean Bernabe, um, Donna Martin. Donna Martin is IG right now. Donna Martin is inspecting herself because she was the CID commander at the time. So all of our IG um, information for investigation into the wrongdoings of the CID, she has such a big conflict of interest right now. Yeah, and who's allowing that to happen, right? So absolutely, the four-star generals and many flag generals are up to no good. Up to no good. Have betrayed us. Absolutely. There is no doubt whatsoever. It is a matrix. They are in it not to help our country, not to defend our Constitution. They have no way at all. And they do not care about our sons and daughters that volunteer in the military. No way. They throw them under the bus. They absolutely put them in harm's way for profit, for power. Absolutely. There's no seemingly, apparently, there's not, well, it looks like it. No, absolutely 100%. And think about that before they want to go to war because it's a matrix. They lie. And they've got, um, it's very profitable. So they have plenty of funds to make it happen and to hypnotize us with the media's help to make us think that this is for the security of our nation. But it's not. Absolutely no way. 100%. There's no seemingly, there's no apparently, there's no looks like it. Because if they wanted to get the fentanyl off the military installations, they wanted to get the other illegal because, so many have died. If they wanted to stop the abuse of power with, like Major General Clem Coward, absolutely involved in all of this, absolutely connected, was in El Paso for a long time. He was so connected. So that means he's connected with the CID. That means he's connected with the FBI. That means he's connected with the DEA. That means he's connected with the CYS, with the CPS, with the VA. He was there many years, and he's absolutely dirty. Major General Clem Coward, dirty, dirty, up to no good. Okay? And who was that in the FBI then? Who was that in the FBI? Well, that was Nieto, right? That was FBI Jesus Eddie Nieto Jr. Who was there in the CID with Major General Clem Coward? It was dirty agent. These are dirty. Dirty agent Marlon Soto. Dirty agent Tavita Nusa. He's so dirty he lost his badge, and we have proof. And he's having an affair. And dirty agent Marlon Soto didn't even put in, the internal affairs, who is he supposed to contact when things like that happen? He didn't even do that. He protected his buddy Nusa, just like when Nusa gave unauthorized access to files to Leilani Hart to tamper with Richard's file. Right? To tamper. Who was there in the DES? Thomas Kane. And Thomas Kane even admitted that Richard was good food for the coyotes. For him to say something like that, he's pretty dirty. He sold out. And at least he wrote a letter to say it. That the JAG, and I didn't even put JAG on that. I needed to put JAG. Because JAG, we wrote open records for Judge Robert Shook to give us his subpoenas, what he has done in Richard's case, plus the autopsy reports. And what happened? He left. He had to leave Fort Bliss. They moved him out. And his house wasn't even finished being customized. I mean, wow. That's what it looked like. Seemed like, apparently. So, there's so many connections here and cover up here. But Team Find Richard Halliday. Absolutely. Richard's case starts before the August 3rd, 2019 mass shooting. Why? Because whatever Richard was reporting was huge. And they had another objective too. So, let's get the eye off of them and their investigation for what Richard was saying. But they also, it was coming into politics and they were directing politics. So they kind of killed two birds with one stone. But they did it so quickly that it was very sloppy. Because absolutely, uh, Chris Chris Grant is a criminal, is an absolute criminal. And we know that Leilani Hart is absolutely connected with Dreams Cabaret. And she's the mother of Richard's platoon leader. And we know that it was a collaborative, concerted effort to shut Richard up, also to shut up Glendon Oakley Jr., and they had a lot to lose. They had a lot to lose because Fort Bliss is a gravy train. They had tweaked it. They had tweaked it with their personnel, and they stayed there for a long time in El Paso in those positions. And they could get away with a lot of crime and, of course, to redirect the politics or keep the politics there for the powers that be, whoever the sugar daddy is, whoever, right? Which we have an idea because it's all about contracts. So you follow the contracts. And it's pretty disgusting when those contracts go to mortuary affairs and funeral homes and things like that. Um, because that's involved too in this. And that's why we don't have Richard's remains. Because don't forget that Tavita Noosa's brother is mortuary affairs. That Tavita Noosa is a surgical technician. They have connections. And they have over the border connections. And then there's Bliss Avenue, where you have the connections with all of these people. It's just, it's really incredible. And those people seems to be, apparently, are connected to Dreams Cabaret. So many. So this is our theory that Richard had already started reporting on their illegal activities, and they had to divert attention off of them and also continue to manipulate through the politics of the day. They created the August 3rd, 2019 mass shooting. They just orchestrated it, and the CBP and the El Paso Police Department, they have key people in there. We have lots of names. And with Chris Grant, with CID, that's why they could call very quickly that it was one lone shooter, right? That's why they could call that, within a couple hours, they could just say, oh, it was a lone shooter, even though there were plenty of people that said otherwise, that it would take a while, days, weeks, to really look into who's who and what. And we have the last couple weeks really looked into who's who. And I'm telling you, there's so many conflicts of interest and there's a lot of connections with who's who. It's, but it just took, you know, we're not a, we don't have a lot of tools. We don't have a big staff, and we did it. So you're saying the FBI is not going to do it? The CID is not going to do it? Um, the El Paso police aren't going to do it? Really? They're not going to look into who's who? And if there's a conflict of interest? They had to debunk the throwing of the soda bottles. They had to debunk that because Patrick Crucia's clothes were all so clean. I mean, there was not even blood, and they didn't even bag his hands. I don't even know if they read him his Miranda rights. So, you do those kind of things when you're on a script and you forget little details, but you just follow the script. Because if you were really doing your duty, you would check boxes, right? What you were trained to do. And just to look at the people that died, to look at their families, what the circumstances is around that. Are you saying that the FBI can't look into that, that the DA can't look into that? And when the DA was trying to look into that, she was attacked and replaced, forced under duress to give her resignation, and put in somebody that would leave it in pieces, that would not look at who died, who are their families, what's going on. And to leave or let the media repeat at the beginning of, the August 3rd, 4th, the absolute vile and vulgar messaging that they were doing through Chris Grant's words, through other words, and even later they would repeat it. That was a hypnosis to divide the people, to get people angry, to divide people. Instead of being angry at who would shoot people, here it is 4 years, over 4 years later, and they still don't have a court date. This is from the officials in the district attorney's office that are supposed to prosecute, and they don't have a court date yet. Everything's in pieces because that's where they want it to be. That's where they want it to be. And I can say that because I've been with Team Fire Richard Halliday investigating the August 3rd, 2019. And in 2 weeks, without the tools, without a big staff, we have a pretty good picture of what happened. And I'll tell you this, Chris Grant is up to no good. He's a major criminal. He's a major criminal with a lot of connections with law enforcement. So Richard then, under the cover of total chaos from the August 3rd, 2019, they could take their revenge on him, and they did. They took their revenge on him. They tried to silence him, and of course, he wouldn't give in to that. At the end, I think they broke him at the end, and maybe they got pleasure on making a example out of him. Because that video is so heartbreaking. So was Tavita Nusa involved? Absolutely, I believe. In my investigative theory that I'm presenting for Team Farm Richard Halliday tonight, absolutely. Do we think that Dallas Hart was part of it? Absolutely. Leilani Hart part of it? Absolutely. Jay Pollan? Absolutely. Nieto? Absolutely. Marlon Soto, absolutely, and many others, absolutely. So, we're just writing letters, and with those letters, we are sending in the evidence. So just pray because it's so big, y'all. And it's not just about Richard then. It affects all of El Paso. They've spent millions and millions of dollars. And that money it is going into corrupt hands. Not in hands that want justice, that want to build an infrastructure for us to enjoy and um, give us real peace and you know uh, a future, right? A future. That's not what they want. They're in destructive mode and they're in extortion mode, and absolutely millions of dollars. I mean, we should all be living in the most modern, beautiful, modern being. My take on modern is very different. It's not like the modern architecture. It is just free power, free energy, beautiful architecture, beautiful art. Uh, you know, the best of the training of all the talents. You know, that's um, you know, that's how I envision it. And I don't even think we can envision it because God tells us we can't even imagine the wonders and the beauty and everything that He has in store for us. The blessings that He has in store for us. We can't even imagine it. So, I'm not putting my hope into these crooked people um, that have developed their crooked criminal syndicate on the backs of the American taxpayers and our volunteer sons and daughters. No, it's not worth it to me. So, and absolutely, they're living large and they're $1 million houses and all of that. I understand that. But no, um, at the end of the day, yeah, we've seen it all too often. It's not worth anything. So, so if you're out there and because one thing that this putting all of this together, um, knowing who the CBP person is, and knowing who the El Paso Police Department person is, and knowing who the FBI person is, and knowing who the CID people are, knowing who the generals are, knowing who the CYS person is, and the as Child Protective Service person is, and on and on, the DES person, knowing who these people are and putting this all together. Absolutely, there is so many people that know. So many people. I don't believe it that they don't know. They do know. And so, really, please um, come forward. Come forward. Uh, It's it's a good place to be to fight for righteousness. It's a good place to be to leave the corruption. So you can call 941 677, what is it? 677 you can call. So thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.